Four, their most accomplished album. I think their undisputed masterpiece is Hip to Be Square. Hey, Paul! Right there, reservation at Dorkin now, you stupid!
Message after the message.
A little bit more. There you go. Now, you're fine. Just I want to crop that picture a little bit closer to you. And now you can move in the middle of the screen, maybe. I know it's a lot of direction.
Yeah, no, it's good. It says this is the best. It's the best seat in the house, actually.
Well, you're working okay. Okay, so tilt your head. Yeah, see this? I'd like to have that's
that mirror.
Fine. I just like to keep your head between the picture and the mirror. So
yeah,
nice too. That's good. We're gonna use all this.
Oh, good, because it's my best work.
Yeah. Let me put the little timer on. Ooh, behind the scenes. Okay, I'm gonna start this so we don't go over. I try to keep these within an hour, but the last couple I've done have been over an hour. But it's good. But the only reason to keep them within an hour is so I get them on Instagram.
Right.
But
sounds good.
Sometimes I don't like to cut them into two parts.
Well, whatever works for the people, right?
People. And this is for the people, all 30 people that watch this. So this is our 54th episode of Brett's with Friends.
Right on.
Tom Downey, he's a working actor. And I say working actor because there's a difference between a working actor and an actor.
An actor who doesn't have to work.
So welcome to the show. It's pretty free form, I don't know what I'm about to ask, and I'm gonna get a little stoned and drunk while I watch you and talk to you. But tell us your story. You've been acting for like a long time. I wait, first question. When did we first meet? Do you remember? Because I don't.
In Venice, down and around the Whaler.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Because
What year do you think it was?
I used to live in Santa Monica. Then I moved down into Marina del Rey. So I spent about 10 years on the west side, and then I moved back into the valley to be closer to my sons when they were teenagers, just to kind of be on it, and that all worked out. But yeah, miss the beach, miss your face for sure.
Well, I've been watching your career through Facebook and just watching all the shit that you've been doing. Can you give us a little synopsis of what you've been up to in the last 25 years and 20?
Sure.
And then also it's a two-part question. Tell us what you've been up to, but also tell us how you got into it.
Okay. So let's start at the very beginning. In 1989, I drove across country to go to Los Angeles and see what it was all about, having no knowledge of acting or anything like that at all. Production, I didn't know how it worked, but I knew I loved films and storytelling. So I hit the trail, came out here, spent a year here, met some great people. The best people I met in Los Angeles to date are the people who were born here. Natives are the best. Love you guys. And still friends with that entire crew. I went back to Boston after figuring out I wasn't ready to be here yet. And then went down to New York City and lied my way into a theater company, saying that I had experience. I had none, but I was an actor and I acted like I did. So yeah, like that. And then I came back out after doing a bunch of plays in New York City. Came back out to LA after I booked a part in a movie. There's a lot of buzz around it now because it's part of that Karate Kid series. It's the one with the girl Hilary Swank, who I hear went on to do good things.
I heard she had a pretty good career.
She had a pretty good run. She's had a pretty good run.
Not a bad actress. Not a bad actress.
Not a bad actress. Never calls anymore. It's a shame. I'm gonna have to look her up. I have to find her.
I think she's single.
No, I could probably mess that up for her. But I did that, and with the Cobra Kai and all that, there's this new comedy series that's been out. It's not new. It's been around a few years, but my friend Marty Cove, who was the bad guy in the original Sweep the Leg Dude, I worked on 2 films with him, and I worked with his son. And way back in the day, the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank was my first feature where I had my name on a trailer door.
Wow.
And
How does that feel to have your name on a trailer door?
it was awesome because I was young and it was in my hometown. It shot in Boston, and for holding one day they had the basement of an elementary school in my old neighborhood. So it was pretty crazy. Yeah. So that was pretty awesome. And so I got a screen credit. So I thought I'd run out to LA. I got an agent, thought I'm all good. I came out here. People were like, yeah, go get some more credits and then come back and see us. So I went back and forth for the 90s, and I would spend like 6 months in New York and go up to Boston, try and haunt the casting people up there, and then go back to LA for pilot season and all that shit.
I had to stop you. I'm curious, and I know this is okay. Haunting them to get work. How do you haunt to get work?
I would just go back and stop in and say hi, because they actually got me. There's a casting agency that got me the Karate Kid movie, and another one that got me. They got my tape to Sherry Lansing, who was then the head of Paramount, for a film called School Ties, with a bunch of dudes that went on to do billions of dollars at box office, including Brendan Fraser, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Chris O'Donnell.
Brendan Fraser's having a comeback right now.
Yes, he is. He's looking good. He hurt his back a while ago. He had some trouble. People are like, oh, he put on weight. I'm like, you'd put on weight too if you couldn't exercise, bro. Don't worry about it. But he fucking killed it in No Sudden Move. Really playing it up hard with the film noir kind of vibe. He's great. And so I read for that. Came down to a choice, I found out, between Brendan Fraser and me. And yeah, it's kind of a hard stumble out of the gate. But he had done a movie of the week with Martin Sheen, and it tested through the roof. So they said, we're going to go with Brendan. But Sherry Lansing said, make sure that kid, Tom Downey, gets something in the film. He's good. And the something they did for me was let me get my SAG card and stand in for Brendan and be on set all the time. So if you ever watch that movie, you'll see me hanging out with those dudes. And so that was the first time I was ever like on a big set. And then I got my Karate Kid movie, and then I just went back and forth. I did a bunch of off-Broadway, Broadway, no pay theater. And then just did a bunch of stuff in the 90s. Then I met my ex-wife, my lovely ex-wife. And that's no joke. She's a lovely person. And we moved out to LA. She got a job at a great private school. And we had 2 sons. And unfortunately, in the beginning, around 2000, a lot of things happened for people like me who were, that year I had 5 guest stars on TV, and then the world stopped. There was 9/11, and there was a writer's strike and an actor's strike and all this.
Everything changed that day. Everything changed.
Yeah. So reality TV took over, and things just didn't matter as much. It felt selfish to continue. If it wasn't happening, it wasn't happening. I lost an agent. I found out that she got let go by the agency I was with. So that was kind of rough. But in that year, I kind of struggled with, am I going to stick with this or not? And I quit for about 5 years when my kids were young, which made me incredibly unhappy and led to a divorce, unfortunately. But the fortunate thing is we stayed a family. So my kids are now 20 and going on 18 next month. Is it August still or yet? It's the 31st, right?
Right, we're right in the crosshairs.
Right there on the cusp. So yeah,
August. This is July 31st.
Yeah, I'm about 7 weeks.
Like it's doesn't it seem like it's been August for a while?
It feels like it's been already, because the heat.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I got a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old, Nick and Shane, both very creative, lovely, hysterically funny young men who are also really, really smart, and they're both empaths. So I'm glad I raised some good kids, because I'm still working on myself.
Apparently, it's a lifelong sort of situation.
Yeah. So hey, and it's fun. It's a journey, right?
Yeah.
It's not the destination. It's a journey. So that takes care of 89 until 2003. And then around 2005, I got back into making movies with a company called The Asylum that did Sharknado after I left them, and they were already doing really well. I did 14 movies with them in 2 years and 3 months.
Shit.
So think about that.
That's
Yeah, that was a
ridiculous.
lot.
You're fucking working.
We just fucking cranked them out, and I was production designer. I would drive the truck, park the generator, build sets, help with wardrobe and special effects and everything. And because of that, I was able to actually make money working for them, because they're a notoriously cheap company. I don't know if they're paying anybody anymore these days. I bet they're not. But
well, we all know what the budget was for Sharknado.
Oh, well, we did a film for 50 grand once, and that was an exorcism film that was shot in just a couple of locations, small cast and crew. And yeah, it was funny. They had two older guys bail out because they booked jobs that actually paid well. And then I was originally meant to play the exorcist in the piece. And they were like, nah, not Tom again. We use him all the time. And it was like, well, then fucking keep using me. Why not?
Yeah, yeah.
And
sort of the Corman style of filmmaking.
Exactly. And the funny thing was, that was one of the better reviews that I had for any of the films that I did. Someone said it's like The Exorcist meets Dirty Harry. And I was like, fuck yeah.
That's not bad.
So,
those are good.
It was fun. But we had a lot of fun. And actually, some friends, Ian James, and they have Do I Like It podcast, he and his wife. They actually reviewed one of my films and hit me up on Instagram. I'd never met them. And in the middle of the pandemic lockdown, I did a podcast with them, and we had a great time. And they're just fans of B horror films, which unfortunately is it's a lot of what I'm known for. But I say unfortunately because you get typecast, and everyone's like, "Oh, you do that."
There's, B movies might be the saving grace of this fucking whole industry, because like you go back and find out, there's so many obscure niche films that we still remember, like Revenge of the Tomatoes, or Rock and Roll High School. Everything's so. If a film like Plan 9 from Outer Space, of course, the gold standard. But like those all have their place in cinema history.
Yes,
and if you're doing good work, you're doing good work. If it's a B movie good work, it's fucking a good B movie good work.
We had a great crew of people, and we just had to work within their parameters. I was in SAG, but I went the Phi Corps, where you can opt out and not pay your dues and wait. And then when I finally joined up with SAG again, I welcome back with open arms. And I did the movies, and some of them I'm extraordinarily proud of, and some of them I'm like, yeah, we did that.
Okay, so let's start with the one that you're not quite that happy with to the one that you are the most happiest with.
Oh, we did a film called Shapeshifter, and we shot it at the same time as a film called Dead Men Walking in the Boyle Heights prison. So one half of the prison was having a good time, and the other half was not. And I was production designing both. And we had two art teams, but by art teams, I mean, we had like two people on either end running around going crazy. And the director was having a really hard time. I don't know, he's a little bit green or whatever, or maybe he had done stuff. I think.
How can you tell when a director's having a hard time?
Yeah, he didn't have a clear vision. I'll just put it that way.
Was he not articulate in the way he was trying to set up shots?
Well, and he was also a little bit of a whiner. And you gotta know that we're making films at a price point, and you can't ask for shit like the moon if you can't afford the rocket to get there.
You got to work with your physics of working with the physics and the context of your environment.
So that was the most difficult, because I'm working one side, and then I have to go on the other. And then my friend Joel Hebner, he's a great actor, and he does really good monster work, and he started doing it with us, wearing the suits and all that. And he had he got some 77, that spray for doing effects, more for doing crafts than actually applying makeup or whatever. But he had this monster suit on, and he got some of this adhesive shot into his eye while he had a contact in, monster contacts, and he had to leave and go to the hospital. And then I got a call from the other side of the prison saying, "Tom, we need you in the suit." And I had to jump in the monster suit, which was reused from my favorite film, which there is a connection here. So that's cool. There's a way to what do they call it? A Segway. So so I get in this monster suit that reeks of my friend Joel on his worst day. Smelled like death. And it was about 110 degrees inside the suit, inside the prison, which was 100 degrees in August, I think. So I did it. And at one point, like, they had to use safety pins. My friend Danny Russo, who's a magnificent in makeup and effects and, you know, monster builder, really good artist as well. But the suit was coming apart because I had to run around and chase people and like attack people and all this. And so we had to use safety pins to close the crotch. And I caught a couple.
Oh, that could have been that. You know, you said, hey, you know, hey,
Got a
it was
couple
my
of-
buddy's old suit, but
Yeah.
you know, gotta make room for Papa.
It was a little too close to home a few times, and at one point, we were joking about it on set, but he was getting heated because he was also running 2 films at the same time. And then in the commentary, we always did our own commentaries, and we'd always open up a 24-pack, if not a 48, and open up a couple of bottles and just make fun of the film and each other. And I said to my friend Danny in the commentary, I said, I don't know, man, maybe next time, do you think you could just make like an entire suit out of safety pins? What do you think, bro? And he's kind of, he's funny. He's from Van Nuys, but he has a New York accent. And he said, I don't know, Tommy. I don't know if it's in the budget, but I could try. If that's what you want, I could ask Lee. Lee, do we have that in the budget? Talking about safety pins. And it was hysterical. So we got beyond it and we made a joke out of it, and it worked. So that's one of my favorite memories from like a bad situation was we got a laugh out of it. And then we did a film called The Beast of Bray Road. And that was basically the Jaws script made for a werewolf. And I called it Jaws with Paws.
Oh, yeah.
That was it. And it literally had the sheriff and the scientists and the tough guys in the town and all that Jim Jam. And that was a blast. So The Beast of Bray Road, you can look that up. And it still holds up today. I think it's free on YouTube at this point. Who
did you play in the movie?
I played a character, Quinn McKenzie, and he's the cryptozoologist. And my friend Lee Scott, who wrote a lot of these films, he wrote this one, and it's based off a Wisconsin legend of a werewolf, the Beast of Bray Road. And he said, okay, so you're thinking your character, he looks like Indiana Jones, and his dialogue is going to be really Richard Dreyfuss, and like he's like, what do you want to sound like? And I was like, Jeff Goldblum. So well, now
Yes.
so it was like this big 6'2" guy with a fedora on, with all these like ridiculous scientific terms for cryptids and whatnot, and he's incredibly unsure of himself, but at the same time he's very sure that he knows that there's a monster out there and he's going to find it. So it was a really fun film to do, 75 grand, and we shot it, I think, in 9 or 11 days with pickups, and that's how we used to do it. And then I left those folks. I bartended for a couple of years, did other work, and then took the knowledge that I got from the asylum about how to make low-budget films, cut out all the stuff that you don't want to do, like upset your crew, and made my first movie called Mirror Image down in Laguna Beach on a couple of locations about, it's kind of like there's been a bunch of them where, you know, they're twins and one of them's evil and she murders the one and assumes the identity. So it's kind of a thriller with some horror elements. And I learned a lot of what not to do on that one and not get myself in trouble again.
What did you learn? What did you learn? Teach us.
Well, I mean, you gotta.
What did you learn that you already knew, and what did you learn that you should have known?
What I should have known was to check the bank balance before people told me they had money. I need to see.
That's an important one. That's a good. You guys know where the money's coming from.
I need to see a receipt for deposits. And so that was what I knew going in was don't overpromise anything. You gotta be honest with yourself and what you think you can do, and what, you know, stick to your price point, and you gotta have you don't spend.
Isn't that the producer's job to stick to the price point? Can't the director just roam around?
No, you just have a good time, right? Just set money on fire. It's fun. But the good news about that one was I met my friend Chris Freeman, who I went on to make many more movies with and work with. We did another like half dozen together, and I had a friend who wanted to make a film, and he had a certain amount of money, but then that all of a sudden it shrank, and I was like, oh yeah, you weren't truthful. But I met my friend.
You weren't truthful.
And this is a friend of mine, so I'm not going to say anymore. But God rest his soul. He's a very good friend of mine. I miss him. But my friend wanted to make a movie, and he's funny. He says, and he's kind of a half a wise guy, kind of like real, like look straight out of Goodfellas. He was actually in Casino. His name is Joey DePinto, and as I said, God rest his soul. He is a very dear friend of mine, and I miss him. But he said, Tommy, I want to make one of those asylum type movies like you made, but not a piece of shit. And I was like, well, thank you.
Yeah. Like yours, but better.
Yeah.
So, you have a good idea.
So it's funny. So we did it, and a guy that I work with over, an old friend who's still making movies and doing his things, Justin Jones. A lot of folks know him. And he said, well, I got this guy, Chris Freeman, I just met. He's a writer, so maybe you guys should talk. And so without ever having met him yet, he sent me a script called Intruder about kind of like a Groundhog Day for a psychopath. The same day keeps happening to this guy. He doesn't know what's happening. And at the end of it, you find out all the bad shit that has been happening has been in his head. And it was a really cool, like, psychological thriller. And I wanted to do it. I wanted to star in it. And so I told my friend Joey about it, and he wanted to change the whole thing. He's like, well, maybe we do it, and it's like a rapper, and he lives in a mansion, and it's like this. And he had all these ideas. And I was like, well, okay, but that's not the script I gave you. So the writer's going to pass. And this is without even talking to Chris, because my friend came and like, I want to do this, and I want to do that. I'm like, nah, this script is too good. We're not going to just butcher his script. I said, don't worry. I'll find somebody else. He's like, what the fuck is this guy problem? He doesn't want to make his movie? I said, no, he does want to make his movie. You want to make your movie, and that's not his movie. So we're not doing that. And so I with sight unseen, I already had respect for my friend Chris as a writer. And then we worked together. We made this mirror image movie. We became very good friends and went on to make several others together beyond that. Two of my favorites being Sorority Party Massacre. Look it up, watch it. It's an 80s horror homage comedy. Mm-hmm. People said, I didn't know. Like, you didn't tell me it was funny. I said, well, now you know. But it's a very funny horror movie that it really feels like kind of an 80s, 90s, Scream-ish kind of deal. And it's not blood, boobs, and bullshit. It's more. Well,
that was the 80s.
Yeah. Well, listen, we don't go too gratuitous with it. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good kills, which we had a lot of fun doing. And spoiler alert, my character and agent.
No, wait, don't tell them. Keep it as a secret.
No. But if you look it up, you'll see. Wait a minute. This same character's in 4 other movies. How'd that happen?
You die the same way in 5 different movies.
Exactly. So we did that, and then we did a film called Rivers 9, which was a complete and total ripoff of Ocean's 11. It's about a bunch of rednecks who don't have any technical prowess, or they're not smooth at all, put it that way. Mm-hmm. And we shot out at what is it? There's that casino out in the desert. Anyway, I can't remember right
I think now. I might have been there a couple times. So
yeah. I don't know why.
The Chumash Casino?
Yeah, it's that way.
They owe me money. Actually, I walked out of there pretty happy. Actually,
they're great, and this is just my age right now that I'm losing some information. But we shot out there. We shot around LA. We shot in Ventura at some of the same places we shot Sorority Party with my friend Captain Russ, who owns property up there. Really cool dude. So I've been really lucky with the stuff that I've done myself. Not that I've made a dime off of any of it, but at the end of the day, I can say that I said I was going to produce movies and star in them, and I did. And I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
So we kept on trucking, and 2 films that I was in, one I just did a cameo in, and the rest I helped my friends finish their film called Beast Mode, directed by Spain Willingham, and that's another Chris Freeman vehicle with C. Thomas Howell. Tommy Howell is in that. He's an old friend. We worked together on Rivers 9, and then years ago we did War of the Worlds for the Asylum, which was their first mockbuster, is what the New York Times called them.
Yeah.
It was, and they got mentioned by the New York Times for ripping off blockbuster movies. And so I worked with Tommy back then. It was great.
Sounds sort of like that's a template so far.
Oh, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. They made an entire industry
Library
out
out
of
of it.
themselves. Like they're the kings of doing that. So I did the Beast Mode movie that came out this year, and then Evil Takes Root, which is another not psychological, but paranormal thriller with some really good horror elements in it. And that is based on a guy's diaries and memoirs. He's a retired exorcist who now likes to go to karaoke bars and do sleight of hand magic tricks.
Nice.
So Felix is our
Now,
friend.
that sounds like a Netflix thing. That sounds like
it turned out great, and I can't believe that we got so lucky, because it was plagued with problems while we were there. We shot in Ohio, and my friend Chris's home state, in and around Columbus, and it was based in fact from this guy's life, and he thought for sure he was followed by a demon from the Philippines back to the States, and this demon attached itself to people that he knew and loved, and then he had to go and get rid of it.
Was it like animatronics or puppetry, or what? How'd you guys?
No, just some great VFX on top of some great makeup and some really cool builds. We recreated a room from a house that we were shooting in, and it was the girl's bedroom, and then that became it. The body bot, the legend of this demon is that she's a witch that witch demon lives in the forests and jungles in the Philippines. And if you go into her territory and disturb any of her shit or remove anything, she will come to your house, sit on your face, and smother you while you sleep. And she weighs about 500 pounds. So
well, that costs about in LA they would charge you about $300 or $450 for that.
Right? Hey, so a lot of guys say, hey, I'd pay good money for that. But it's this crazy legend that we had this room that became this like really spooky jungle with tree limbs and all this and smoke, and had a leaf blower off to the side whipping shit up, like it was just crazy. So it looked like something out of if you took the Sleepy Hollow set and just crushed it down into one room, that became where she was doing her dirty work as a demonically possessed child. That was Stevie Lynn Jones, who I love. She's a great little actress, and it's not that she's little, but she's younger than me, so I can say that.
Yeah, and her life will be ever tortured because of this film she made about her being a demon.
You know what? She's so goddamn good at it. Doesn't matter. She looks like a young Liz Taylor, man. She's gonna be fine.
I thought you were gonna say young Linda Blair.
Yeah, right. But her head don't spin and she don't puke up any green, so I can't.
So do you keep your films within a certain PG or R rating? It sounds like you have a certain sort of sculpture for the content that you put out.
We Rivers 9, I think, might have only had one like F-bomb in it.
Yeah, but no nudity.
No. There's some sexy time scenes, but PG. Totally PG. Sexy times, I like. Yeah, but that was all PG, and then I think it was in Sorority Party. The guys were like, Tom, you can't say fuck again.
We're trying to get you back for now we have to talk to you about it.
Yeah, it was like, it's funny because
it's such a good word to say though. It's like fuck, fuck, fuck is
it's part of
like popcorn. It's fun to say.
It's definitely part of my vernacular, and I had to tone it down. So, but yeah, we try and keep them R and not a hard R. And if we want you to laugh and like the characters and not have, even if someone's a jackass or a terrible person, you still got to like that character, or you won't want to see him in the next.
That's the whole crux of being a bad character, is you got to also be unlikable. To be an unlikable character, are you calling me? No, you're not calling me. Are you? Okay. I'm
ignoring people that are bothering me about stuff.
Did somebody just call you too?
People are trying to hit me up, and I told them, I said, I'm out for an hour. Don't.
Did you see? That's what's just happening to me too. I mean, I never get any phone calls. I don't get phone calls. Nobody calls me.
Well, it's our day off, and I thought everything was handled. Now all of a sudden, people need stuff. I'm like, no, you don't. You're fine.
We have this is our safe place.
Exactly.
We're in a bubble of goodness here.
Cheers.
So I gotta pick your brain because I'm a filmmaker as well, but I haven't done nearly the amount of production that you've done. I'm a writer, director, painter guy, but I've got a dark comedy, which is the whole point of this whole podcast, is to make my return to sender movie.
Cool.
I wrote it with my writing partner. It's a tight 90 minutes, 92 pages on paper, and I have been trying to make this movie since 2005, and the jokes are solid. And originally, there's other stories about it, but like, what is your process? What am I missing? Because it's kind of, I'm thinking of this as I'm talking to you, but like, okay, I first want to ask you, what is the length of time that your average shoots are, and what are the average budgets of those shoots? And is that at the professional level? There's I have to learn from somebody who's making it happen. So
right, you can. 3 weeks is usually plenty of time if you have, say, $200,000 and you've got multiple locations, and people might go, what? But that's low end. And that was for, I think, for sorority we did about 278 or something like that. Trying to think. And I think Rivers 9 was over 300.
But how much how many months is that? 3 months beforehand pre-production?
That's actually shooting time without pre-production. And pre-production would be, if you've already got everything going, you can start slow and then start paying yourself a month before for pre-production, if you already like sourced everything out and know the direction you're headed. Otherwise, you could be in 6 months of pre-production, and probably 4 months of that's going to be unpaid. No one's gonna pay you to unless you're working for one of the studios. They won't pay you to sit around and figure out how to get the film done for a price point.
So once the money is delivered, that's the chain is off the wheel. Just like let it fly.
That's it. And you make a plan. Money hits the bank, and then if you're lucky, if you have like 2 weeks beforehand where there's actually like the majority of the money's in.
And where do you find your money from? Like the resources, like private individuals that have already in this production company before, so they see what comes up and they figure out what they want to invest in.
Well, having worked with the Asylum back in the day, there was a time when my name actually was like could get a show greenlit for the Sci-Fi Channel. I didn't know that at the time, and it kind of feels like what they did to the Three Stooges when they didn't tell them that their receipts were so huge and they just wanted to keep them humble and not pay them as much. There were a couple of my friends, we found out after the fact that we all were basically, we were like the darlings of the Sci-Fi Channel, because every 6 weeks to 2 months, we had a new movie on Sci-Fi. And they loved us, and we thought they were just filling it with content, and we thought the movies were meh, but we didn't know like they would have actually like paid us to go and work for them. And we never found that out until after the fact. But I was able to talk to distributors. Distributors knew the track record.
Did you do the circuit? Did you do the circuit?
Do you mean go out there and
Tour
show
with
myself? No, this was all like phone calls and emails and introducing people and putting people together so they could talk about themselves. I was already a known quantity. I already done a bunch of crappy movies that did well. So I'm gonna make some more.
I love your it's a perfect take to because there's so much with like how people perceive like filmmaking and the actual doing of it, and not the talking of it.
Yeah.
And it's such a funny little world. Like the comedy world's a funny comedy world. Everybody in comedy knows the bubble of it's a family.
Yeah.
And so I don't think maybe making movies is like that. We would want it to be like that, but like a family. But it's in niche in small containments of it. Yeah. But like as an overall whole, it's like a wild west of like, how many different ways can we make a movie? How many different ways can we distribute it? How much content could possibly be watched at one time? And is there is there such thing as too much content? And then it's like, well, you know what? There's not, because we can take it. There's a billion different ways to make to watch something. Look, I'm making this little podcast. Who knows who's going to watch? But it's a time capsule. But it is a media. It is a way of contextualizing something that people would be able to see and enjoy, regardless of whether or not.
and hopefully, you know, get something out of it, you know, to learn from my mistakes, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. But yeah, with independent film, unfortunately, at the end of the day, people are still, you know, out for themselves. Like I'll throw down and bleed for the cause, and then there's always someone who's like looking for an angle to get their next paycheck or take the credit. And I hate.
Does the ego thing happen a lot?
Everybody's got an ego, man. Everyone wants to be, you know,
but like
movie star or star director, or you know.
But sometimes the ego without they want to get credit for something that they're not capable of producing. They want to be. It's the actual act of being a director on set. That do people change from like the planning to the doing?
Right. Well, my friend.
Do you understand the dynamic of that when you're doing it? Like,
yeah, I've seen some people get a little full of themselves. My friends, not so too much. I mean, we all have had our struggles with dealing with, you know, because you know we're taking other people's money and we got to pay it back at some point. So there's a lot of pressure there.
They're commissioning a piece of artwork from you. They're commissioning a piece of artwork from you. They're commissioning a product from you.
Right. And we at the end of the day, we have gotten away with it, but I've seen some folks just really get a little too like full of themselves when it's not that. What it is, it's not you, it's us. I don't work for anybody. I don't work for anybody. Nobody works for me, man. We all work together, and we all have to work together to get that vision across. I don't care who you are on the set. We all work together. There's a reason you're there.
How many people are on your sets generally?
We can have as few as I did a film called Dolls with my friend Jeff Miller, and I did a few movies with him. Oh, geez, one of my favorites, Axe Giant. Ridiculous film, but a lot of fun.
Nice.
It's the Wrath of Paul Bunyan.
Ooh. You play Paul?
Yeah, no, I play a.
You play the Wrath.
Yeah, I play the Wrath. Exactly. My character doesn't last very long, but it was a lot of fun to do, and I did the art department for that. Actually, that was just, I met so many great people on that, but learning from him how to deal, and he's cranking out films left and right. But
what do you mostly shoot your films on?
The last time we shot on film was Short Ends with The Asylum, and I remember there was a great film, my second favorite, Frankenstein Reborn, and it was lifted from Mary Shelley, but done in kind of like a, you know, we were hoping for a Blade Runner aesthetic, but color-wise, Steve Parker.
That's a lot to ask for.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we're all hoping for a Blade Runner aesthetic. Come on, we're hoping for like one of the best cinematographers in the world.
I'm living for it, man. I want to be lit like that.
Did you see 2049?
I did, and their 2089 is actually in pre-production.
Really? Okay, do tell. Give us a gossip. Who's in it?
Nobody yet. It literally, that's my sister hit me up. My sister hit me up and said, "Have you heard of Blade Runner Black Lotus?"
As long as they don't get Jared Leto back in there, I'll be okay with it.
Yeah, he's
hard to watch, man. He's hard to watch, man.
Well,
I know the guy's got everything. I have a little Jared Leto thing. I
understand, but
he's perfect. He's perfect. He rock and rolls. He's a great actor. He looks like a sculpture, but he gets laid all the time by beautiful models, and he has no consequences. There's no consequences.
That annoys me about him. I find him annoying. Ready to quote Don Rickles, "Get away from me! You annoy me."
You know, he lives in a compound. Apparently, he's
a creep.
He's a Jesus Christ sort of. I could see him being like a cult figure.
Yeah, like Jonestown.
Yeah. But he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's a
Well, I'm
lovely
sure
person.
he's wonderful. Well,
He's
he
a
actually,
wonderful person.
he-
Would
I
you work
think-
with him tomorrow? Yes, of course.
but he never calls. He never calls. He put on a fat suit or gained weight for the House of Gucci.
I heard about this.
Yeah, I just saw the trailer. My sister sent it to me. This is what we was talking about Blade Runner. She hit me up and said, "Do you know about Blade Runner Black Lotus?" I said, "No, they're making a TV series," because I'd be upset because I'm trying to get cracking on doing some episodic TV work on a show that will like just carry me through until a decade. I'd just like to go and make some money for once.
Did you see that? Okay, I'm interviewing because I want to know about if that's actually a thing. Do you have? Is that actual thing like like a show that you're looking at right now, or you would like to have?
No,
that?
they have no. This is an animated show. It's an anime version of Blade Runner, and I looked it up immediately because I was afraid they were going to do something without me, and that'd be fucked up. Because they do it all the time. They're always making movies without me, Brett.
Hey, I know. And it sucks because you deserve the part for sure, no matter what. But I have a group of friends that are actors, and they are so competitive with each other about roles and stuff like that. That they, in a good way, a fun way, but oh gosh, I almost started the story without knowing to talk too much about them. They know who they are, but
I tell them I say break a leg.
yeah, I mean, actually, break your leg. That because I should have had that part.
Get that cast. Break your leg.
So I wanna make a movie, my first feature film, and I want you to take a look at the script at some point. You don't have to say yeah. You can say no, I can't do that, but I think you should actually read my script.
I would love to.
Because it's actually with your background. It's an R-rated movie though. It's gonna be shit, fuck, cunt, it's gonna be maybe probably fuck a couple of different times in the movie, but the foundation is strong to be malunited. The structure of it's so tight that like it's an ABC 1, 2, 3 act, but like it's like the armature is so strong that it's made to be adaptable. Because it's called Return to Sender. Anyways, right. We'll make the movie. But making, where do you like with everything with streaming and with Scarlett Johansson suing Disney now and the different can you give us a little inside what you think about that? I mean,
the last time I shot anything was a couple of years back, so this was not an issue. Everything I shot was pre-COVID, and the only thing I did during COVID was a voiceover for something that might turn out to be a stop motion animation, kind of a film noir based off of Harryhausen. Yeah,
the Ray Harryhausen's the man.
Ray Harryhausen, yeah, but I won't say any more about it because we haven't gone too far. But I did go and do 6 hours of voiceover for a 1 hour episode just to get her done. And it was that was the one thing that I did during the lockdown, and then went back to work, in a hazmat suit, which I'm probably gonna have to do on Monday because numbers are fucking skyrocketing. It's not fun.
So what do you think about that?
I think folks should wear their fucking masks and get a vaccine, man. I don't know.
Which one did you get?
I got the J&J back in the day, and I lucked out because I was actually working up here when I got it before. I'm in Santa Rosa right now, like we were talking before when you called, and I'm just doing art department stuff for a Guy Fieri cooking competition show called Guy's Grocery Games. He doesn't need any more publicity. Don't worry about it. But it's a fun
that's
show.
right, because no one's watching the show. This is just between me and you.
What's insane is they keep telling me it's the #1 show on the network, and I'm like, what network is that? I'm so bad. I work for the guy. I don't even know. I'm like, oh, the Food Network, of course.
Oh, well.
I'm terrible, man. Every show
there's a lot of different medias to outlets for stuff,
Well, what's funny about all the art department stuff that I do for TV or film or whatever, it's like, if it's not my movie, I'm gonna go to work. I'm here to work. I'm here to do the stuff for you that you want me to do. And every job is different, sure, but every job is the same. Like, there's no reason to get upset. It's just another product, and we all are professional. We know how to do our thing. When you see people getting upset on set and freaking out over stuff, it's like, I just want to like,
Oh no.
say,
No,
calm
I mean,
down.
so
Yeah.
wait. Did you tell me how many people are given on a set on your set? Like an average, like how many people do you have on a set?
Oh, right on. So I was saying on the low end for this movie, that's when I was talking about my friend Jeff Miller, who I did that Axe Giant movie. We did this movie called Dolls, and it was my friend Kyle's first time directing. Kyle Carbon, look him up, and we had 12 people for the entire crew. And
That's the way. That's the way I want to make a movie.
Yeah, we've done it that way, and then like upwards of 60 at the most. When you need a lot of folks, including like drivers and PAs and the whole thing, and yeah, so it's like that's like the biggest day ever. I think is we had like 60 people on set. I mean, I'm saying definitely more than 50 because I know with catering we had to make sure everyone was fed. But yeah, it's you can do it. You can do it small. I've got my friend that I've been working with. Stays the coolest fucking name ever, Tosh Pelican.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. He went to NYU to Tisch, and he wanted to direct and write and this and that. And then I met him when he was kind of doing grunt work as a PA on a reality show. And the art director that I was working with, this guy, Steve, said, "What do you think of that kid, Tosh? You think we should poach him?" You know, it's got, I was like, yeah, fuck it, man. Give him a fucking shot. I like him. I think he can fucking definitely handle working on the art side of the world. And he came over, and his friends from New York were like, "What are you doing working for art department? You didn't go to school for any of that." Like, he's not like, he doesn't want to like build a frame or a flat or, you know, dress tchotchkes on a fucking dress or anything, but he'll do it. But he's like, no, these are the most fun people I've ever like met in my life, and that's like across the board. Like art department people, I have a very special place in my heart for you. I love you all, you maniacs. But this guy did his own short, which I'm sure if he sends it out there, it'll win some awards. He worked for somebody else, did the short film, and he said, "Do you mind if I make a sequel to this?" And then he did it, and it's friggin' hysterical. And he did it with, I think, 8 people involved, including cast. Short film done. Concepts there. That's it. That's another fun thing to do is proof of concept. If you can ever just shoot a scene without spending money, because that's the thing. You don't want to put blood.
I know, that's probably where I'm at right now. I'm probably I'm very super close to doing that. Like any second from now. Like,
yeah, well, that's how the film in Ohio got greenlit. Is they did a teaser for it, and like a sizzle reel kind of deal. And
isn't it called proof of concept at these points?
Proof of concept.
You make it 10 to 15.
Show me your vision. Give me some best bits, and if you can make it into like a short story form, great. Some people will just shoot stuff and show you that what we're going to do is it's the apocalypse and it's kind of a Mad Max meets zombies kind of a thing. And that's a shout out to my friend Raul Contreras, who I hope we can either get his Zombie Patrol up and running as a TV series or as a film or both.
Did you see the Zack Snyder movie?
Which one?
Any of they all suck, but
yeah.
The zombie one.
No, I don't think I've seen the zombie one yet.
I'm not gonna watch it. It looks unwatchable.
There is something that just popped up under a blood red sky, and it looks like another zombie movie. But I say that like,
do you ever watch the show? Do you watch podcasts like The Critical Drinker? Do you know who he is?
No.
You gotta check this guy. He's a Scottish guy. He does a podcast. He's a writer. They're producing one of his novels this year. His name is The Critical Drinker. You guys should all seek him out. He's amazing. But he does movie reviews and also anyways, you should check him out because he's got a cinephile brain. He's younger than us, but he does his timeline of his movie references are a little bit different, but he likes old stuff too. But but he breaks down movies into different, like he can break down a movie for its best stuff and its worst stuff, and the guy is super smart. But Critical Drinker, check him out. What I kind of lost thought, but what was the last thing you were saying about? What were the last thing you were talking about?
Yes. What were we talking about? We were talking about sizes of crews, and then we went off on a tangent from there.
Oh well, I was trying to get back to the tangent. But
Yeah, right. We were
some of the anyways, okay, so I got apparently too stoned, and but like but where do you see, because we got about, ooh, I'm teetering on these last moments because we're gonna have to wrap it up, and I want to keep it within that solid sweet hour if we can.
okay.
But there's 1,000 words I want to say to you right now. But like I feel like Dick Cavett for there's a do you ever watch SCTV growing up?
Yes, I did. And the Schmengi brothers, my favorite, and Ed Grimley.
Schmengi's.
And they, what was that? They had that game show where they were all just idiots.
Halfwits.
Halfwits, thank you. Idiots, halfwits. So good. Oh, I love that. And John Candy's is brilliant in everything he does. But Martin Short and Steve Martin have a new show coming out on Hulu.
Yeah, it's a detective show.
Yeah, the Only Murders in the Building or whatever. And I'm like, I can't fucking wait. But yeah, SCTV back in the day, so good. And then Martin Short is like hands down. It started with Ed Grimley, and then I saw him in Inner Space, and I was like, why is this guy not like the biggest star in the world? He's so odd and so genuine and so goddamn funny. He's just the best. And then he comes out with Jiminy Glick. And if I could have like a dream come true, it would be to be fair to middling successful, and to have Jiminy Glick asking, so Tom Downey, let me ask you a question. You've been working in Hollywood for years and nobody seems to care. Do you think that's a you problem? And I would just love it.
That's all of our dream. Well, you got the fucking Jimmy. Anyways, yeah, that's my toast and butter right there. That's like Pippi Longsocks.
Yes, Jesus Christ. So goddamn funny.
I might have to steal that. If I can steal that and put that into this episode without, but it's everybody in the world should have seen that. It's like, so like, because I'm a Pippi Longstocking fan as well. Like I grew up, those are my adolescents seeing Pippi Longstockings, the original,
right? Like
lifting up the horse with the tabletop.
Exactly.
And, you know, those are my earliest childhood like fantasies, and like, you know, they were smoking cigars, they had gold bouillons, they ran around doing it was overdubbed. And then like to have somebody do that in the time, in the space in which, in that crew of those kids, I mean, you got like Dave Thomas,
yeah,
Catherine O'Hara, you know, anyways, you got them all with Eugene Levy. I mean, insanity. You don't get so that. Good. You do not get that recipe
is like insane. Like they don't stop. Maureen O'Hara. One of my favorite things that Eugene Levy ever did was in Splash. Yeah. When he's constantly getting hurt, and then I think he like falls out of frame down a flight of stairs and says, "What a week I'm having!" And I just die every time I see that, because he's a funny motherfucker. They all are. They're brilliant.
Well, Eugene Levy is a living legend. He's like, those eyebrows are a living legend. Those things, like when you see somebody's eyebrows do this, like when he did Bobby Bittman on the waterfront.
Yes. Oh my god.
He's all and Catherine O'Hara. I mean, these guys are in there. It's right in that sweet spot of nobody was doing anything like this. And then later SNL would go to, which they do, steal everyone's players, but they would hijack half of that shit.
Right.
And which, like, without SCTV, SNL would not even be around right now.
Yeah, and what you do is you learn from
they're still using their shit.
And you steal it, you make it your own, and hopefully no one goes, I know what you did.
I've had that happen a couple times with my script, but hopefully it retains that thing. What do you think about people when they take ideas and make it their own? Like, and don't give you credit or a job?
Don't get, well, that's a problem.
That's two different
But if
things.
someone actually likes what you did and they kind of like lean on it, that's fine. I'm all right. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like I know for a fact that stuff that I've said in auditions has ended up in people's films. When I've ad-libbed and then I go, hey, you didn't hire me and you took
Hey,
yeah.
yeah, hey,
Yeah, fucking what? You're a fucking guy. You're not aligned a little bit. Yeah.
so it's a Super Bowl. It's a soup of creativity though too, because
Yeah.
like once you put it out there, like even showing people my script or artwork that I put online, you know, it's out there.
Right.
It's people can make it. They can make copies of it. They can put it on pillowcases. They can sell it without whatever. And but does it? You just have to keep on creating, right?
Well, yeah,
because you're never going to stop creating anyways.
no.
So we're gonna create no matter what. So whatever the fountain of creativity that comes off of things, and then those who have the ability to do, as versus the people that have the ability to do not do, will be the first ones to get that into some sort of form.
Yeah, and whatever happens outside the creative process for you or me or anything, when it comes to making a film, I heard this a lot of years ago.
Hold on. Keep on talking. I'm gonna make sure this thing is plugged into the wall. Okay. Keep on talking though. Act like I'm not here. You're an actor. You're an actor.
Act, motherfucker. But Brett, I will tell you this: there's 5 scripts that you have, like, and it's the one you write, and that's your first idea, and then you go to casting. You might have to change things for casting, right? So then you go to shooting, things change again, your script changes. It's an evolution. You write it, you cast it, you shoot it, then you edit it. So that's the 4th inclination of your script. And it changes again in editing because you find things and things change. And while you're shooting, you might not have a location, you might have to change an effect, you might lose a day, things change. When you cast it, a different character is going to be different because of the actor that portrays it. And when you write it, you had that one idea. And at the end of the day, the 5th inclination of your script is the audience, and they will tell you what film you made. Are we still plugged in?
We're still. I'm plugging. I don't know why, but everything they're saying I can hear. So keep on going.
Well, that's basically it. I just thought that you might have run out to the store.
No, not yet. Hold on.
What is happening? But I'm so glad we had this time together.
It worked.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
No
Sorry,
worries.
little snafu there. I think it worked. It's plugged in. So
If we need to do it again, we can do it tomorrow. I think they're taking my production vehicle away, so I might not. I had a Cadillac Escalade that I've been driving around in.
Yeah, is it fun?
Like some kind of mafia hitman. Crazy.
And
now they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna give you the art van now. I'm like,
So what do you want to see happen with because I've already went over our hour, so I'm just gonna, this is all just great. We could end it any second, but like, what do you want to see what happening with the stuff happening, like with that, you know, if you have any druthers, okay, I just got another question. But if you have any druthers, what would you like to be doing this next year or 2 or 3? Would you like was it the series that you want to do?
I don't care what the show is, as long as it has like a 5-season arc. I just want to go. I don't care where my name is in the cast list or the crawl.
Is it for the steady is it for the steadiness of it?
Then that will afford me to spend the off season away from set to go back and do some more independent work. And I don't want to have to it's all, everyone's afraid again, and they, as well they should be, because the whole entertainment industry is in flux with, it costs a lot of money to test your people every day and to keep the PPE up and all that. It's now I don't want to give a hard number, but add 20% to your budget. at any level, and that might be, you know, optimistic, because then if someone gets sick and you have to shut down, you're fucked. So what I'd like to see happen for me personally is someone pays attention and goes, oh yeah, Tom, sorry we waited so long, but here's your script, here's your trailer, no pressure, we already know you're good. And then I can just go work and play a cop on TV or a dad or whatever the hell it is, or do something fun like was it Chris Pratt's role that he had forever, before he became Star-Lord, right?
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. So something's fun and silly like that, where I'm not really like the face. I just want to work.
Part of me doesn't like Chris Pratt. I don't know if it's because he he hunts and he
he's got some,
Anna Faris.
He blew that pretty hard. He's got some different ideas.
He's a Christian guy, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm a Christian guy too by birth, but that doesn't mean I have to be a jackass about it.
I know. I grew up Christian. I was supposed to be a Christian when I was growing up, but I went to
Catholic church and whatnot and all that. And I'll tell you right now, this might be the most important thing that we say to each other is the message of all religions is just don't be an asshole.
Sort of.
Right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what
break it down into brass taxes. Probably.
Yeah, I don't know what the lizard people do.
Well, we are the lizard people
that live underground with their lizard brain, the ones that actually control the world.
The world. Well, I mean, that's a topic. I can't. When do you think the UFOs will appear?
They have.
Oh, okay.
When will they actually be acknowledged?
No. But so are we the aliens? Basically, we're the aliens of this.
Oh, so we can hang out with them?
No, but yeah, we're this other creature that's dominating the sphere more than so other creatures that have been around longer than them. Or
I think we've been visited several times and they're just they already figured it out and we're just not that interesting.
That's probably more true than not.
I mean, we really kind of love ourselves a lot, you know, and God made us in his image. Kind of the other way around there, isn't it?
Like, well, I don't. I've got an ego, but not that big of an ego.
Oh man, it's like Narcissus staring into the pool, and God made himself in my image.
Is there a lion saying that to themselves in the middle of the fucking jungle, going, "And my lion made me the lion image of their lion," you know? Or no, it's like, come on.
I hope a lot of people watch this and we get some mail. That'd be great, right?
I don't know where to send it to. I don't even know.
Open up a conversation. But yeah, that's. I mean, it's. I would love it if they could just say we have no idea how these objects that are on our radar and have been videoed. There's no heat signature. There's no.
Also, my friend said they don't need. My good friend of mine recently said they don't need proof to even see that to know that there's something out there.
Right.
Or in here, or out. You know, we're not living in a space. Did you see that Bezos thing? How he thanked his after he got through with that space flight when they were doing the conference he thanked Bezos with Amazon.
Oh yeah. I mean, flying around.
I like to thank. They did a little press conference afterwards. And I like to thank our employees and our customers at Amazon for paying for all this. This whole thing, it's just so funny.
Well, I think he tried to stem the tide of hatred I think he donated $100 million to 2 different charities on the same day that he flew. So he dumped a lot of cash out, but I'm like, did you feel it?
Yeah.
Didn't even feel it, bro.
This is so
Didn't even feel it. Why don't you spend that money that you spent on flying just you? And I'm glad he took the old astronaut up there with him, or the old pilot there. That was kind of fun.
But also, that burns more carbon fuel. That burns more carbon.
He punched a hole in the roof.
As a billion cars all driving fucking 405.
I'm just gonna go punch a hole in the roof of the world real quick.
Thanks, guys. That was fun. You know, like.
Yeah, not necessary.
In
Completely
the
unnecessary.
spacesuit, no fashion sense. No fashion
And,
sense.
well, honestly, you're not a scientist. You're not an
I'm
engineer.
not a fashion designer. I'm a scientist. God damn it.
You certainly have no fashion sense, son. Because you like, I think Will Robinson would have kicked you off the spaceship, man.
Come on.
You would be
Will-
lost in space, motherfucker. Get
A
out.
Skywalker robe would have been better.
Man, it was bad.
If he walked in there with a Luke Skywalker robe under the.
There you go. Come on, man.
What's next? The lightsaber and stuff like that. So where do you? So do you think this COVID thing's gonna come back?
It's already back.
So what's it look like a year from now?
I don't know. I don't know how bad it will be. I think like they said that the vaccination rates are going up like constantly, but
yeah, people are getting vaccinated that
but it's also spreading faster than it did last time. So is it just shoveling sand against the tide? I don't know, because the tide's coming in. I'm not happy about it. We already, and this is just was it this job? Maybe it was, but I have worked on several where we had people have to leave because they tested positive, and yeah, it's
that kind of
stopped.
It kind of poisons the lake or the pond.
Yeah, and they have to do contact tracing, and I've worked on shows where they have to take an entire department out because they do the thing where you're in a pod, but if someone tests positive, contact tracing, everyone in that department's out. So right. It's real, it's here to stay until we tell it to go, and the only way to tell it to go is to get vaccinated and wear your mask. It's not, the vaccine does not give a shit about any single one of us individually or, you know, what flag we're flying. It's just a creepy little bug that's going to just keep crawling along and getting stronger until we tell it no. So who's, you know, do you want to be strong or need you? That's where the weakness lies, I think, is, well, no, because I read once. You didn't read shit. Stop it.
I know. I can't like, it's such a weird thing because I was a big conspiracy theory in my 20s and 30s and Atlantis, and I still believe in Atlantis and multiple dimensions and all this stuff. And if you're telling me this stuff 20 years ago, I might have been more like, fuck, dude, I'm not gonna fucking take anything that the government would give me. Fuck that shit. But you know what? It is science, and whatever it is, regardless of where it came from, we have to deal with it. And but I would think that we would want to take every step possible to ensure not getting it. You know, that's a simple shot.
And the steps possible to take care of it are within our control.
And some people
that's something we can do. These are steps we can follow. And
it's Darwinism? Is this Darwin knows best? Is this?
That's what a lot of my friends and family have been saying. Well, all right, good luck, kids. It's like, you want to behave that way, but it's just like, come on, people.
I know I try to get some of my family members, I won't name names, but the one that gave birth to me still hasn't taken it. She's 77 and a Trump supporter and a pretty hardcore Christian. And I was like, she won't. I said, Mom, it's just like, you should just get it. You know, it's like, I don't want to.
Everything else is
she's vulnerable, but she's all, I'm strong. I don't get shots. You've been operated how many times in your life? You've gotten shots during those things. She'll, no, I didn't. I said, well, okay, now we're
just want you to be all right.
It's like there's no,
you can be all right, Mom.
There's no end, or like there's no, it's a
denial
thing.
The denial of it, and you know, to be so self-assured, it's got to be comforting in its own way, but it must also be terrifying when you see everything else that's happening around you.
Yeah,
I wish her well.
I wish her well too. I love you, Mom. She'll never watch this. But
put the intention out there that
put the intention.
I know that there are some friends of mine that weren't into it, and then they realized they would not be able to see their family, unless they got on board. And
well, I have a friend that's a nurse, and she was like dealing with people that got COVID, and they came in with COVID. They're all like, "Can I have that shot now?" They're all, well, The shot's
Sure.
not good. Wait, no, really, Ken, you give me the shot now? Like, no, it's you have it. So
Yeah, you don't know. You really don't know how this works, do you? Because you didn't want to listen.
Okay, let's go to the bank because I gotta take a piss. I'm sure you got some stuff to do. Can you
Listen,
tell
man.
everybody how to get a hold of you or find you on their social webs or
Oh,
your
sure. Yeah.
like that?
Well, you speak about the social webs. I will close with this. Where the fun stuff happens. Sometimes I'm on Twitter, and I think it's just my name, Tom Downey. Let's see, who am I? I don't go on that often.
It's Tom Downey.
Just look for that, Jack. Oh, it's I want to make sure I got it right because I get made fun of by my kids because it's Tom Downey and my birth year, which is 69.
I'm a 69.
I knew that about you.
4/20/69.
Hey, now 5'11".
Birthday.
That's the best. Yeah, weird, right?
I know,
That's
like
crazy.
well, was it? I think I was like 25 or 26, and I was like, man, I really like smoking this weed, and I was like, I've been only smoking weed for like I was a late bloomer, like since I was like 22 or like a little bit when I was a kid, but and then I was like, I'm such a stoner, and then on my birthday I was like 4/20, April 20th, 4/20. Oh, no wonder I'm predisposed to being a joint, like a pothead.
That's it, man. Well,
Yeah.
I was born on Mother's Day in 1969, so I'm a fucking angel sent from heaven.
You are an angel. You are an angel saved from heaven. You
Right? Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Aren't we all? But that okay. So look for me on every once in a while. I got super political, but in a funny way. I attacked the fucking Cheeto Jesus like constantly. It was my family was like, "You're gonna get in trouble." I'm like, "No, I will not." But I have my fun with Twitter just like that jackass did. But go over to Instagram, and it's can you see that?
You got 11 billion followers. TFXDs.
Yeah. So that's me,
D's
Tom
nuts.
Downey.
TFXD's nuts.
That's my kid said, you need to be on Instagram. And I was like,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
what should I call myself? And like, TFXDs. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. All right, we'll do that.
They know best. They know best.
But yeah, follow me over there. But go watch my movies, children.
Yes, watch his movies,
You'll enjoy
children.
it. Yeah, just go on to IMDb, like the free part, not the pro, where I watch my numbers go up and down like this and have heart attacks because nobody cares. Like I said, and no one seems to care. Mr. Tom Downey, I'm gonna let Brett go pee now.
Are you do you think actors are narcissists?
You have to be.
And what makes it about that has to be? Is it just the what is it about that?
Well,
Not a bad way or a good way. There's differentials of either.
This is no part of a lie. If you don't love what I'm doing, and I'm giving you everything I fucking got, then you don't love me, and I fucking did it wrong.
Oh. Well, on that high note,
fucking hate actors, bro.
I love it. Well, hey man, we're gonna end. I'm gonna take a whiz. Oh wait, thank you so much for being on the show.
Let's talk more. Brett. I love your art, everybody. Please go buy a piece. And next time I'm down in Venice, I'm gonna take something home to put on my wall. I need that buffalo, bro.
Well, I'm over here in the I'm over here doing a show. I was gonna maybe do this. This is where I'm at right now. So what I'm gonna do, maybe I'll end the show. I'll end the show by jumping in the pool and we'll take off.
Get it.
All right. So I'll see you later, man. We'll talk on the phone. All right.
All right. Signing off and launching. Hello.
I'll see you later.
Peace out, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Oh, hell yeah. That looks refreshing.
Episode 53, 54. Tom Downey.
420 for life.
Four, their most accomplished album. I think their undisputed masterpiece is Hip to Be Square. Hey, Paul! Ah! Right there, reservation at Dorkin now, you